Hello guys, welcome everybody, welcome everybody, welcome everybody, hi everyone, welcome everybody, hello all, welcome everybody, hello, welcome everybody, welcome everybody, hello everybody, welcome everybody, welcome everybody, welcome everybody to the final location video of 2024.
The Granda 94 YouTube channel. Please enjoy all styles of creative content.
I liked about the 90s.
Oh my god, I just passed that.
2024. Very intriguing to listen to. Yeah, it was a bit of a sneak through the first few months.
Editing experiences.
Here we go.
That's exciting. I think they did this stir fry. It was so effortless, different styles in seconds in. I've already gone.
Fashion, the music, the TV shows, you name it, just about.
I am officially going to be telling everybody that I will be leaving this place for good.
While we're walking along the beach, I thought I'd tell everyone that I just turned 30 years old. Yay! Oh my god, I can't believe it. I'm in the 30s era now.
Big thank you to Campbelltown City Council and Claire for allowing me to use the interview alongside of the Simmons family, the words from former past family relations. Go about to touch the very end point of Redhead Beach, and we have officially made it here. I cannot
Hello
believe it.
everyone to the 6th look back video of 2024. I'm your host Granda, and today we are going to be reflecting, looking back, and also some other things as well throughout that we're going to be doing in today's video. Can you believe it? I've done 6 of these look back videos. The first one started in 2014. So this marks the 10th anniversary since I actually started doing this. Also another thing, I actually finally have got AC in this room, so I'm finally going to be feeling a little bit more cooler as I am recording this, because the other times I had no AC, and mind you, some behind the scenes tea, I was a little hot throughout doing those, so it feels nice to finally be able to be cooled down and able to enjoy recording for you all. Without further ado, I think we will get started into getting into this look back video. Our first thing is, what did I think of 2024? Well, what I would like to say is so much interesting things happened to me throughout 2024. There was a lot of emotion, I felt like, this year, as there's been other past few years. This one I felt like was more the in-depthness of how emotionally thought it was. Hence why this theme that you can see in the backdrop behind me is all about the colour blue with a bit of film reel, as I wanted to give the in-depthness of my journey, and as well just give that sort of that blue is my favourite colour, hence why I'm wearing blue for today's look back video, as well as just showing a bit of film strip of the stuff that how far I've come in my content creating. So yeah, just overall very mixed. I would like to say there was some definite lows, 100% highs, but it was just an experience of just, that I had a lot of different things of change. Speaking of change, we actually did some TikTok reaction videos, which furthermore actually became quite interesting, that a lot of you actually really liked. So it was so good to able to come up with a different concept. I didn't even know how it was going to go with that, because I just thought, okay, I'll download some videos, react them on my channel, and just see where it goes. And a lot of the time, the short side of it got quite popular with the the hundreds of views that I noticed than my original videos, but overall it wasn't such a bad experience. I think another thing I really liked about the year was talking about my 90s experience. That was a really such amazing thing of nostalgia to go back. I remember the TV shows, some games that I played, amongst some other things as well. I just really liked how it was so good to take me back to those years as when I was an innocent child, and remember there was good times for myself that really truly made me happy. And the 90s were my era, I would say, because I definitely love the 90s, all things 90s. I love the music, the fashion, you name it, just about every single thing. I love the 90s. Also, another thing I would like to bring up that, yes, I did say in the moving out video that I would promise you I would show once I moved, which I moved back in September, sort of the end of September, and ever since then, between then and now, I've really thoroughly enjoyed it. This place I'm living at is incredible. I love the atmosphere. I can't show too much, but what I can show is the bedroom that I am in now. This currently at the moment is just how it looks in the image that's showing on the screen, but right now it will have definitely some more updated changes as I am living in this space. So this is definitely a really good area for me to be immersed in myself and to be able to share with the upcoming future content of what's to come. I think the most highlighted thing for 2024 was definitely me turning 30 officially. My goodness, I can't believe I'm now 30, said goodbye to my 20s for good. And I think going back to the beach challenge video, when I announced it, I think it was such an eye-gauging thing for me to know that, hey, this is what's to come for me. And I've had so many people behind the scenes telling me how the 30s is going to be the next stage of your life, the best years for you. So I'm really thoroughly excited to see what that will bring for me and what do I expect it to come. Such a sad feeling, goodbye to my 20s for good, but rest assured, what I love about my YouTube channel is I can reflect and go back on those greatest years of my life that I took you all on some incredible locations, and as well just taking you all to the atmosphere of all my life's journeys that happened. So speaking of locations, that's something I would love to bring up for 2024. There were some truly, words can't describe some of the best places that I've gone through. A lot of those places really showed and opened my eyes up to more. Yes, the past ones have too, but these places really eye-opened me. I think there were some very interesting challenges along the way with some places. Some I had to really tackle obstacles to get to another side, most definitely. But also alongside of just the reward of just going up on those viewpoints and really taking the perspective of the place from looking down. That to me really eye-gazed me the most, because it was really such a special moment for me to really take in that, hey, where I'm living is actually quite such a beautiful place to encounter upon, and hope it inspires other people to go check out their local area and see what it has surrounding them. Mind you, some of it also was not just around where I was from. I even got to do in a place in Campbelltown as well, which I will discuss a little bit later in the video. Overall, I think the places have really become such an incredible experiences. Some tracks I wasn't even know where it was going to go, but that's sort of the life unexpected journey that upholds when going to different places, like the shots that you've seen throughout this year. Last bit of what I want to put onto 2024 is I felt, despite it having some very ups and goods, as I mentioned earlier, there were some very down points. Again, I will be getting into talking about that in just a moment too, but what I can say is, the best thing I can get out of these down moments, because mental health is a very serious thing which I suffer with big time, is that I know I can push through and anything is definitely possible, no matter what situation is or who you are as a person. I like to hope that I can give inspiration that there is a way out of things, And even just getting immersed in nature itself can really, really uplift you in any sort of way. I definitely, overall, there were some very good times on my YouTube channel, and even behind the scenes there were also some not great times, but the support and kindness that I've gotten by each and every one that I've spoken to has really kept me doing to what I am doing today. So I do forever just so acknowledge just those people who have been supportive, who have got me through tough times. The next section I want to talk about, which is something I brought up a bit in the last look back video, which is called the reflection section. This is where, again, I will explain is where I would like to bring up some things that I think is a very serious issue to talk about, but also I've got something different that I'm going to be doing a little bit for the first time on the Granda look back history. A very serious topic I would like to discuss with you all while on here is something that truly was the downfall of 2024, and I need to compose myself to get ready to say this because it really put me in a spiral, to be honest with a lot of you. As you know, I've mentioned I've been on TikTok. I've been on TikTok close to 5 years, coming up by the end of this year, because I only did one day of 2019, if I remember correctly, before I got into 2020. So yeah, it is a good 5 years. But on a serious note, I experienced some online bullying through TikTok because I also, I don't know if I mentioned, I probably have on my channel that I do TikTok streaming occasionally. I started doing that September last year. So it's been roughly a good year and a few months, but something completely changed months and months ago for me that really eye-engaged me that I felt like I needed to talk about this on video. As I mentioned, I just got really badly attacked and bullied online through TikTok, and I don't even remember how I could tell you how it began or where it got really bad, but I was streaming one day, didn't think anything of it like I was normally streaming, and then I got these horrendous comments come in out of the blue nowhere. I thought, okay, I could do an instant mute and block because you can do that. I also have mods that occasionally come on my streams to help me to tackle this, people coming on really bad. So the first few times, we were able to go clearer, but then there was an incident where I had 50 to 60 people come at me all in one go. As people know me on this channel, I am part of the LGBT plus community, so I am a gay autistic person. And what can I say about that? It was really disturbing and disgusting that people, and for starters in 2024, and this is still happening, that people will have the urge to write down words that I can't even say on here on YouTube, saying that I'm this and I'm that. And it's disappointing. It's disappointing we're in an age where online, where it's still considered of these things still happening. And the worst part is what I'm shocked about is TikTok has nothing about sorting these situations out whatsoever. I've even had to go as far as recently to private account just to going through followers, which I will update now. The good news is that I'm able to do that, and now my account seems to be a lot more on the safer side. But also it's just horrendous the fact that TikTok for months on end, this has happened months and months. It wasn't stopping. It was still going. People were writing my username on their name with these 0 accounts. Again, disturbing as comments like you would not believe that, again, I can't share on here, but it was pretty bad. And just amongst of just people as far as going as screenshotting my face onto their accounts. Even before social media or anything like that, I was badly bullied through high school and all that, so I know what it's like. I've had all sorts of trauma happen to me. It's not okay to do that to anybody. It's not okay to do that someone part of a community or part of a being ability of who they are. It's not right at all. And I want to put the clear message is, make sure to just be kind to one another. Be there for someone who truly needs it, because the way that people are just carrying on like this is not acceptable. And I will make sure that I will put a stand to this, that things are right. Because as it's just mind-boggling to me that something like this can happen. So again, as I mentioned earlier, I've done the best that I can to handle the situation, but I really definitely want to come on here and explain that, hey, what this is doing is not okay, and TikTok needs to do better in regards of its guidelines, people making accounts. Now, this is the thing. There is a setting you can do that is 18 plus, but the only thing is that does not even do anything whatsoever to an account. So we can maintain the best we can, but my message on here is just, keep yourself well protected. Not saying that you shouldn't stream. By golly, if you want to stream, if that's something that you want to really do, then go for your life for it. Just always have backup people like mods, depending on the social media. Now, this is not just TikTok stream. This is all social media platforms. But just have someone in your streams to look after you, or just at least have backups. Now, what I mean backups is in like people to come and support you, make sure someone's there present while you're doing your stream. It's just someone to keep an eye on your account, as well as just keep yourself safe at all times, because we always, even myself, put ourselves online. So it's always the best thing to do. That's what is something I really wanted to bring up on my look back video, as I felt like it was generally sincerely something I needed to do. And just keep yourself, please. Make sure that you're in a safe space, because your mental health and your mindset is very important before anything online. That's my message to say to all of you. And now we can get on to the out of the way of that craziness that just happened, but a very serious topic that I needed to discuss. Also, the fact of make sure to contact your local landline or mental health landline as well. If you're from Australia, I will leave in the description below a number that you can actually ring that can help listen to you if need be. But hopefully I've explained myself the bestest way about that handling yourself as possible. The next section I would talk about in this reflection part is actually a bit of a speed lightning round. So what I'm going to do is I actually have the piece of paper that has my order of things to discuss about. Is I'm going to do like a speed round from what I remember of each location video that I went to, and give some behind the scenes stuff that I remember to the top of my head. Now, this stuff is something that I couldn't have said on camera, or something that happened in the moment that you all didn't get to see. So without further ado, let me get into reading my paper to see what stuff that people got to miss out on that I could say on the look back video. Let's start off with Morissette. Now, I did mention this a little bit, but apparently at the beginning of where the video was, there was actually a kangaroo section that you could actually walk into. Now, I think when I got a little bit later, I remember there was a few tourists that was walking on the path that I was. I can't remember where exactly, but they approached me saying that they wanted to look for the kangaroos. And I think I remember telling them that it was way back there. So I had in my mind that I was like, oh, I wish I could have recorded the kangaroos. If you go back to the first video beginning of the year and look maybe thoroughly online, you'll be able to see that there is a section of kangaroos. And there actually is, because I remember also in that same area of Morissette, there's a place that I remember driving years ago, there was just so many kangaroos. So there's a nice little fact there. Also, I want to bring up about the cicadas. Now, you probably heard, for those who have watched that Morissette, if you haven't, there was probably a percentage of a lot of cicadas going on in that video. And it was very noisy that I started to feel like I was going a little bit deaf. But it was still overall a very nice location. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. That was sort of a place, actually, looking back at it, wasn't expecting to go to, because I didn't know about it until I was brought up about it to me. So I'm really glad I went there to show the river and also just amongst other wildlife as well. Winnie Bay was the next one, and the steep hill that you probably might have seen through the video. If you haven't, there was a massive steep hill that I had to walk down, and then when I went back and finished the video, actually a memory just came back to me. I remember sitting down where the rocks were in that scene that you get to see. that I was actually sitting there for quite a bit before I actually went up the steep hill, because I knew I had to climb, and it was eye-catching to say the least, just going up that hill. Mind you, this is why I'm so glad I bring 2 bottles of big water about that big, that I can easily drink and stop as I go along the way. So the steep hill was definitely the quite extreme bit about it. Nonetheless, of just trying to get to the top and be like, yay, I made it. Swansea Part 2. That was a really great spot that I remember correctly. I remember from that video the part where I'm going along this spoon the spoon bay part where you had to walk along these rocks. Now, there was a scene where I had to really run forward. You had to time it correctly. What that means is there was waves crashing, which you could see in the video. I'm just trying to get across there because I was so determined on that day to get to the very end, which I did. And I was so proud of that accomplishment of able to just get from one place to the other. Another thing was the bridge. Now, there's a section where I'm crossing a bridge after, I think it was Panay Beach, and this bridge was like sort of in water, but sort of felt like you could still walk it. So in the video, you could see me actually just try and, I guess, tiptoe or slow approach. In my head, I think I was freaking out thinking that it was going to like collapse or something. So luckily it didn't for that instance, but sort of something in my mind that I wanted to bring up. Towards the end of Swansea Part 2 was a ladder. Now what that means is I didn't get to go down the ladder. Now I don't know if I filmed it or not. If I did, there was a ladder. And you go down it and it would take you right to this section where it's all rock, and then the rock had all this water in it. And then, yeah, you could go down there and see it up close. Overall, if I had the time, because I remember I was getting to the end of the evening in that moment, so I basically just shot it from up above. But it's something that you can go down to actually check the scenery. And by golly, that scenery in that place was absolutely beautiful. Watkins National Park, what can I say about that? Well, for starters, not a lot of you don't realise, but the drive getting up there was a very interesting one. There was actually a bit of difficulty trying to get to the location. What that means is there was a lot of potholes and there was a lot of dirt. Well, mainly majority of the road was dirt once I got off the concrete part. And you had to sort of swivel around, but I had to take my time, slow approach with it. So I remember it took me, I think, it felt like nearly 45 minutes or 40 minutes to leave once I left. But then, mind you, it was getting dark. So I had to be very cautious leaving the area. But the drive up there was interesting. So definitely recommend have a 4W drive when driving that. But my car did its justice. It pulled through in a very safe kind of way. You can take the car, like a medium-sized car, but a small car, definitely not. Medium car might be okay, just depending on the brand or what it is going there. Be very, very cautious when driving it. Another thing I would love to talk about was the scenery of Watkins. My goodness, you get up there, and if you haven't seen it, definitely need to recommend watching because the panoramic view was truly incredible. Just eye-gazing, when I can say trees, just beautiful trees just showing the landscape. That's what caught my eye on that location. Now, I hadn't seen each places that I go to. I never look at images as best as I can because I want to be there in the moment to capture it. So I could see it for a first time like it's watching, if I was a viewer watching myself, for like what you guys are doing for me. It was such a good thing to be able to get immersed with that. And my God, getting there too, very tropical of just beautiful sections, parts as you go along in that space. The next one I would like to talk about is Ku-ring-gai National Park. That actually is something you don't know, but when I got to the very end, when I showed up that river section, and there's also a bridge that you could look at from afar, I was actually had another tract planned to go show, but then eventually what happened was I got there, started filming the beginning of it, and then someone told me that I couldn't film there. There was an older woman that stopped me telling that I couldn't do it, I would be fined. I think that might have been to do maybe because of the native land, or maybe that was a part I couldn't film. Again, this is stuff that I don't know until I'm there in the moment, so I wasn't expected to row until I got there, but I was this close to filming an extra track because when I looked on Google Maps of this track that I was going to do, the end of it showed from looking down along the beautiful river landscape. So you guys would have definitely loved it, but unfortunately I couldn't have filmed it. It was such an eye-opening experience to know that, okay, it turns out not all tracks are available to walk, and out of respect of that, it's understandable. But when you watch the rest of Ku-ring-gai, it's actually a very, what I show in the scenes after that hole where the power blinds were, as also the side of the river as well. Still a not bad experience in my books. Beach Walking Challenge video part 2. Now, a few years ago, I did one from Jenny Dixon right to, I think it was Red Orchard Beach. That in itself was a very long, intense experience. So I thought to myself, can I do this again? I had it in my mind for quite some time, and I just overcome it, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. And so I did. And it was such an eye-opening experience again to do it a second time, and this is when I celebrated my 30th birthday. I will say this, I think I did get a little bit stir-crazy in some parts throughout the day, and then walking back. Walking back took me, I think, a good 4 hours. So that was, a pretty big mind-blowing experience that, oh my God, I didn't know if I was going to truly make it by the end of it. Without feeling me of hallucinating, to say the least, it was still a challenging experience that I thought I needed to push myself doing. And at the right time, too, of turning 30 in the next stage of my life, I thought I really want to prove to myself that anything's possible, and by me doing this, I'll be very proud to look back upon. So I'm very overall happy that I've done it. No regrets really on this YouTube channel, as you've seen in the past. Also, I would like to talk about, there were parts that were sectioned off. You can see there was actually fence parts where I couldn't actually climb upon. There was a lot of signs there too, explaining that it was past a point where you couldn't walk upon. You can actually 4W drive in the space too. There was a part where you can until there's a limit where you can't. And then so you can just drive along there as far as you want. And it was actually pretty cool. If I drove in a 4W drive, I would have loved driving along that coastal beach there. But nonetheless, it was a beach walk challenge video, so I really wanted to take the in-depthness of it. And I remember when I was walking back, I had this black towel around the back of it because the sun, I remember, was so scorching hot that I felt like it was really good to do that. So I had it clipped into the back of my cap so I didn't get myself too badly burnt, which by the end of it I was. My arms, my legs, a bit of my face was completely burnt to the core. But, no regrets again. It was worth it. Final thing I would like to talk about is Boxhead Kill Care video, the very last one. As you saw in the rock climbing, I got to the rock climbing and I actually thought if I went up some rocks, I could make it. So where you see the top for a good 5 seconds towards the end, I thought there was a way you could climb over to get over top of it. I was this close to seeing Tello Beach, but then it just wasn't possible. And then after that, turns out the track that I mentioned in the video later, there was no way of getting there. It was such a shame. That section I have now looked on photos itself, and there's a pretty nice scenery. I still recommend going to check out Tello Beach within Boxhead/Killcam because it is a very nice spot to go check out. And I think that concludes me doing the speed round. I know I spoke a little bit more than others, but overall, those places was definitely memorizing of 2024, and I'm so thrilled to be able to share that with you all, to immerse yourself, to go and check out some of these places on your own. Now that we got the reflection section out of the way, which was a pretty mixed experience, we're now going to be talking something that's true to my heart and forever grateful to look back at these moments, as well as the people that have got me to where I am in this year alone. I want to, for starters, talk about Simmos Beach, which is why I didn't mention it in the reflection section part. Well, I would definitely like to once again thank Campbelltown City Council and Claire for allowing me to use the podcast episodes on both Simmons family members to be able to use for my video. So how that come about is I have wanted to do Simmos Beach for some time. I just didn't know when it was going to happen, and this year was actually the perfect year to do it. So what I did was I did some thorough research, and close prior to me filming, or even like months or at the beginning of the year or something like that, I stumbled across one of the Simmos relations interview online, and I first listened to it. I was like, oh my God, this would be so cool if I could use this material or audio episode into the video. I was really nervous about this because usually some people might allow you to use interview stuff on a site or from their pages and that. So I wasn't too sure if they were going to allow me to use it. So I actually took the guts to send an email or a message saying, hey, is it okay to use your audio interview from the location that I'm doing? And then I got a response back and they said, yes, that's completely fine. And so I was amazed in that moment, jumping with glee. I almost cried actually because it's like something I never thought that I could possibly do. And so when I used it, and it actually even gets better because turns out the interviewer, Claire, had a second Simmons-Burring relation interview as well that they allowed me to use. So I was like, okay, great, I could definitely use this material. And so once I put it on the video, did my YouTubing magic to it, and upload it, the amount of response by each and every one of you, words couldn't even process amount of thank you that I was upon everybody saying how incredible it was, even getting emailing back from Campbelltown City Council and Claire saying that they really thoroughly enjoyed it, to the fact even the family watched it. I was complete shocked. I actually almost cried up because I really wanted to not let anybody down with it, and I'm so pleased that everybody really thoroughly enjoyed how the video was coming about. I really wanted to just show each intricate little detail of every part that I can while I was walking along the track itself. And it was very beautiful too, the atmosphere, what I could share about the location, some back history, was totally worth every moment of that. And it was so moment to you viewers watching it that it really made me proud, going, you know what, if I had the guts to do what I do by emailing, that anything's possible in this world. So that was very much the highlight, the top tier for me of this year. I'm so incredibly just grateful for the opportunity that someone gave me a chance to put their audio stuff on a video to share it with everyone else. And so they should, and particularly to Simo family relations out of, I think it was 8 to 10 siblings. Their story needed to be heard, and I was so thrilled to give that to them whilst recording and giving myself a notice of how things were, just to take it all in, see where it was going to go for myself. Thank you so much, Campbelltown City Council and Claire, for allowing me to use the interview again. You're able to post it onto the site, and just being in that moment, able to interview those people was a truly remarkable feeling to get that back history, and I'm always going to remember that for as long as I live. There's somebody else I have to give which is going to be a first time in the Granda Lookback history, that I'm really going to be giving some very honourable mentions like I did with the Simmos speech a moment ago. There is one person that has been on my channel on and off for quite a few years himself now, and some who might know them, might not know them if you've seen the video. Their name is Party22. I've done a few collaborations with them. I did Dashcam, Sydney, Nelson's Bay, USA trip, Melbourne, as well as some of the recent like Woy Woy Waterfall Pools and Catherine Hill Bay, amongst other things as well. But Party22 will not be returning back onto the channel. But I would like to just take a moment to actually thank them for coming onto my channel and coming along with those places with me in those journeys. You know, you don't know who you're going to meet in this world or who you're going to come by, but when they came onto my channel, they really gave me an eye-opening experience. Some little backstage, behind-the-scenes things that a lot of you don't know about. Bela Party 22 was actually the one who got me started actually doing location videos. They said to me, you know what you could do, so much that you're not really talking amongst so much, that maybe you could do scenery content that people might actually be able to enjoy. From I would say from 2019 onwards is when the journey really started. That's why I got the Silver 7 GoPro that some of you might remember from all the years ago. Now, mind you, at the time when I started, I was very overweight. I was a little bit quite depressed in how I looked. And so a few years ago, as I mentioned a few times in the past other videos, I started dropping the weight. Once I did that, I was able to really tackle on the more steeper, challenging type places. And I think if I didn't have the pursuing of what Bela Party 22 said to me about doing this, the content of location would have not been where it was today. Another thing I would like to bring up is actually regarding of the USA trip. He actually was the one that paid for it completely, booked it all out, knew what we were going to be doing throughout that one teeny tiny little week that we were there for, but we made it work completely. And as you can see in the shots that I've recorded at that time, I really got to immerse showing all the different sites and even going to Disneyland in Anaheim. That was a highlight for me because I absolutely love Disneyland, and the fact that I was able to share that with you all in that time was truly a special moment, and that's stuff I'm going to again just look back on and go, I was there. I was able to go from here in Australia, our first overseas trip, mind you, all the way to go to across the ocean to go to the States. So for me, is a very happy moment in my life to know that I was able to go on a plane. Mind you, I was freaking out really badly on a plane in that time. Over growing up, my ears would pop a lot, so I had to put all these plug things. I also had to put some chapstick or something on my lips to make sure they weren't dry, and then I think I would always feel my ears popping. Such an incredible feeling that I felt that I needed to bring up as well. There's something I got Bela Party 22 to do, and I've got here right now a piece of paper. This is actually words from him himself, but I felt like I'll be really good to read out to all of you viewers on here. Again, I'm going to try and compose myself without crying. This is what Bela Party 22 has said about his experience on the Granda 94 YouTube channel. Even though I haven't been on the channel much, what I got to do was so fun. Great memories, great fun, and lots of laughter. When did a couple of videos for Dashcam, it was quite interesting rewatching how I actually drive. Blue Mountains will always be a place I cherish due to the peacefulness, spirituality, and joyfulness environment. With the cruise, even though I was a little ill, the island was worth the visit, especially seeing where Scooby-Doo was filmed. Catherine Hill and Woy Woy Waterfall Pool made me feel proud of achieving such tracks. With an injury I sustained prior. The Melbourne videos are so great. Melbourne is my fave city in Australia. However, hands down, my favourite experience was Los Angeles and Disneyland. It was quite emotional as it was a massive goal that me and Granda achieved. I'm not sure when I'll be back to create content. I do know it's not the end. Exciting for what's to come, planning my future that I want and need. Signing off for now. It is time to walk on my own. Unexpected journey. Thank you. Oh my God. That got me. Wow. Would love to respond to that. Bela Party 22, I thank you so, so much. And I know I've said thank you a few times, but honestly, without some of the encouragement and wisdom that you gave to me, again, I wouldn't have done the location videos as where I am today without you telling me and giving me that push that I needed. Because, you know, a lot of the time I've struggled communicating. A lot of people don't know about this with me, but I really wanted to start getting my confidence back. In 2018, I remember when I did a lot of my first few vlogs returning, because I hadn't done vlogs in a while, I remembered I got like a Mac Air or something for me to script read lines. And I remember I would record bit by bit to get where my talking, that I can able to connect them together. And that's what growth is all about. And I've come so far since then. And I'm very proud that I could able to get where I am today. If it wasn't for people like him and for other people as well. You've definitely left a good legacy upon yourself, and we are all, as viewers and myself, looking the very best ahead of what's to come for you. Here's to onwards and upwards and all sorts of other things as well. So, yeah, thank you so much, big time. There's some more honourable mentions that I would love to happily address. Let's backtrack with this. So, as people know, TikTok, I do streaming. And so there's a few people that I actually got to meet. And they really, words can't describe that this is all from the heart, really changed my life for good. And it's only just been recently. I met them through TikTok streaming. Some that don't know, I've had to remove certain, I guess, relations, which some of us can relate if you're a viewer watching, that I've had to remove certain relations out of my life due to not so great things they've done to me. And so for quite a recent years, which I've never really dressed upon, and this is probably going to be a first, where I felt really in a dark, lost space of knowing that, can I pull out of what I am? How can I get through what I'm feeling? Then the TikTok streaming came in, and that's when I met the most amazingest chosen fam that I could ever ask for. And if they're watching this, they know who they are. And I'm looking forward to talking about them. It just feels so great that now officially I have a chosen fam. I'm trying to compose myself for this. I have now got a chosen ma, a chosen aunt, and a chosen bro. They now allow me to use images, which I put on the screen. So here they are. What I would like to do is talk about them as a group and then individually and put my own little words into it after. We'll start off with all three of them together, and each individualism, that was a very interesting word to say, but each of them have really given me the confidence, the boost, pushed me out of the funks that I've been in, and to get me in a good, happy place again. My aunt, my bro, and my ma have definitely done that. They all in particular have given me words that have really pushed myself to be where I need to be, to strive as a content creator, a YouTuber, as well as a podcaster, which I'll discuss more about that later on in the video, to really get myself to where I am today. And without their words, I wouldn't be where I could be the fully confidence of where I am at. They've all have given me the things that make me feel good about myself and push me going that, hey, you know, they are really, really here for me no matter what. So I would love to talk about them each individually to you all, because they definitely need to be recognised, incredible people that they are. The first one I would love to talk about is my aunt, Net. Now, what I've done is, you probably notice I have added a little bit of a border about them and give them a little bit of depth about who they are as a person. So my aunt, Net, she loves skulls and loves the colour purple. And so a dedication there, I had to put that in the border. And when I first met her this year, I remembered I was not feeling my best, and she gave me this recipe, or like what to have for a hot drink. And ever since then, and these past months, we've had some fantastic conversations that she really pushed me to become stronger, resilient, and just feel myself. Her kindness and generosity is definitely something I really look into and inspire upon. And I'm so thrilled to just, and blessed to have an aunt like her. She really has that art label for me big time, and she makes me definitely laugh and giggle, and just has that aura presence about her that really makes you smile and lit up when talking to her. I definitely love you so, so much, Auntie, because I know she'll be watching this. And Net, I think you're an incredible human being, and I'm so glad to even give you wisdom that you need, that you probably didn't know in yourself until you realise of how much there are some incredible people. And also along my bro and my ma, Dirty Blonde and Alex, were able to help my aunt out as well with what she was also going through too. Like we all do with mental health and stuff. So I'm so incredibly blessed to have an aunt like you, Nat. Thank you so much for everything that you do for me. The next person I would love to talk about is my bro, Alex. So Alex is a big one for Pokemon and Taylor Swift. And so young, but has such powerful, words can't describe, feeling of just knowledge towards him. He's such a very bright human being with so much ahead of him, and my God, I could not be so incredibly blessed to have such an awesome bro like him. You know, for someone who has just gone through so much, has just come out of the end of it so incredible, and I'm very, very proud of him. I really am proud of him. He even gave me words of wisdom that, that no matter what, any challenge or obstacle, that you can get through to the best of what you could possibly pull through. And to me, it's that word again, I can't even speak. Inspiredness really got me through to, we can relate to a lot of the levels too, of just feeling like we were neglected or feeling alone that we're not. And then we had such powerfulness of just people surrounding us to all that one word, love. And love is definitely what is so spectacular to just feel when you haven't had that in a long time. And Alex, to you, I'm so glad you're part of the Chosen fam with me, and so glad we have such a great support with Dirty Blonde and Net too. And I'm very excited to see what's to come with you and what future you'll uphold in yourself to many years to know you. And oh my God. So I'm wishing you all the very best, Alex, and I love you so, so much from the bottom of my heart. And thank you so much as well for the words of inspiration, kindness, and generosity that you do for what you have done for me this year in 2024. The last one, my chosen ma, Dirty Blonde. She was in a place at the beginning of the year that I needed someone in particularly. I was in tears because I was telling Dirty Blonde a lot of my life that I felt like I was in a place that I wasn't sure about or unknowingness. And we had a conversation together, me and Dirty Blonde, and I need a moment for this. When she approached me and asked, would you need me to be your ma or have a ma presence? I cried instantly because that's what I needed for quite some time in my life, that I needed a guidance. I needed someone to be a leader for me that I could look up to. And I said yes, hands down. She definitely has that presence, and I could feel the guidance and leadership from her. Such a powerful, strong human being. And like my aunt and my bro, she also had tackle of issues of things growing up, but she pulled through. And that's something that I want to look back on 20 years from now and going, I'll remember this conversation this year and be that, you know, this will help me to become later on in life as an adult too, and get to an age where I know, you know what, with the words and wisdom that my own mom, Dirty Blonde, has given to me, that I can give myself the push that, hey, everything's not so scary after all. Crying again. But I thank you so much, Dirty Blonde, for everything that you've done for me this whole year alone. You really have just, I will say, kicked me into gear up a notch. But as well as just hearing about your backstory, your life story on things as well, hearing about you as a human being and just also what life expectedness of what's to come, and so much gratitude and grace from you that you were here on this earth for a reason, and you actually even got to even help Aunt as well. That I know how much both of you have that loving connection and support, as well as Alex too. We all have just all come together as one, and we all needed as one to be able to keep going in life. So I'm very, very appreciative by each and every one of you. And I know I've said thank you so many times, but this is such a feeling to feel like that needs to be 100 million times. Something that I'm so proud to mention them on my YouTube channel. And all of them are from the States, but just know that if you've got chosen family from in the same continent or overseas, that you know that you've always got a connection with a phone or social media, or even just having group video calls could definitely feel like that you're close by to them in every shape or form. Even we're far apart, no matter where we are in this world, we're always having one place to connect and connect alone. I'm so glad that I could mention about them, because they do deserve the credit of being mentioned on my YouTube channel. So very, very blessed to be able to bring them up on my look back video. Lots of love to my chosen fam. And I also want to mention that my chosen ma, I picked flowers because I will say this, she has that very floral presence of each colour of each individual flower. So yeah. That was my honourable mention about, oh my gosh, the most probably I say emotional look back in Granda history, but definitely well received. Thank you so much for making me the person that I am today, Bila Party 22 plus my chosen fam. The next section is now going to be a bit of a thing that I would love to get into, and now this is about my podcast. So for those who don't know, this year was a big one for me. I started a podcast series after 2 years away from the first one that I did with Aging Gib 95, which was Radio Sessions Over Tea. I felt like I wanted to come back. I was ready to come back, but I wasn't too sure if people would listen to me, that I was by myself, because I co-host with how I did in the last show. People gave me guidance that, you know what, you need to get back into doing this, because I felt like this might be good for my confidence. And that was just the push that I needed. And so Live Chats with Granda 94 was introduced. I wanted to think of a new concept idea, as I mentioned, live chats, which is very much like me. I love to have a chat. I'm very extroverted when I can be, but I also have a tendency of being introverted and shy too. It was such a good feeling to actually come back, and Live Chats Granda 94 was born. So season 1, what can I say? To have some people wanting to come and be a part of it as well, talk about some like individual self episodes were really eye-catching to me. So I would love to bring up a few guests that were on the podcast series. First up is Mattnorman. Mattnorman was the first one that was one of the people that inspired me to actually get into a podcast series. Very shy at first, mind you. Mattnorman, if you don't know, has done quite a lot of high movies. Ghost Rider, he was in that as a mechanic, and actually did a high award-winning movie called Salute. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend. Such good films that he has directed and also was in. It was such an incredible guest to have on, and we were able to talk about his life and all sorts of other things. So I'll definitely leave those episodes in the description to check out. The next one I would like to talk about is Dirty Blonde, my chosen Mars. She came on a little later in the series and able to talk amongst about her adoption because she was adopted, as well as also just life general things. Even talked about chosen fam, as I did before on the channel. So it was such a really good experience to have also her to come on and talk amongst the things that we needed to have Matt, such a big massive inspiration that I look up to massively to get me also where I am. And just the fact someone who's a director who's even filmed a lot of short film, which I've seen all on his YouTube channel, which I'll leave again in the description. They can go check out those short films amongst other upcoming things of his as well. That it was such a thing to be able to inspire me to do my videoing in different ways. And he's just such an awesome person to talk to as well. So I am grateful for that opportunity to have him on, as well as Dirty Blonde, who also came on and shed a light on her perspective on things as well, talk about her upbringing as well. All that's on Live Chats with Granda 94. And just I would love to talk about season 1 in general. All 10 episodes were truly amazing experience to do. I think what I learned from them is I was able to how to figure out what to say, how to say it. I think writing things down actually really helped me. That there is definitely confirmed a season 2, but there is going to be some changes led along to this upcoming podcast series. So all will be expected until you check it out, listen to it. If you're into the whole podcasting, I will be mentioning a few other surprises in just a moment. I do massively thank Mattnorman and Dirty Blonde for being part of the podcast series. And also, I want to give a big congratulations to Mattnorman, as a huge big thing happened to him as well in the media. That wishing him all the very, very best upon that big exciting news that has just come out. Congrats, Mattnorman, and I'm looking forward to your upcoming projects in the future. Also for next year, I would love to talk about what kind of style of YouTube content I'm wanting to do. Big, massive changes. Usually I rely myself on a car to get me to the locations that you all seen this year, past other ones. But this time, things are a little different. We're going to be going on a little bit of another adventurous side of it, shall we say. So there's definitely going to be plenty more locations in different places. That's all I'll probably reveal for now, but I definitely can't wait to take you all into the endeavours that we're going to be of 2025. It's going to be so good, and I can't wait to take you all there. Alongside, I'd like to hope maybe do some like home content as well, stuff like this with the green screen. So we shall see where it goes. We don't know what to expect, as I have said for my quote for many years. Life's unexpected. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Is something I would like to reveal for the channel. We are going to be I'm now going to be revealing the images that you will see on the screen right now. These are updated things that are going to be changing and will take effect next month in January. As soon as January hits, it's all going to be updated with my cover photo, my profile picture. Now this is for also all other social media as well. At least you can know that I'm in one place, makes it more easier to. We've gone for a different font as well. We've gone for out of the font that I've had for quite some time. I feel like now that I've turned 30, I really felt like the new Granda era can begin for myself, and having that new updated changes for me will be able to give a new perspective on Granda and what the YouTube channel, as well as other social media, got in store ahead. So lots of updates and changes have happened through this channel that you'll get to see for 2025 as well. That was something I would like to uphold, and some ideal changes of what's to come. And I'm so happy of how the images and the font turned out for itself. Can't wait to display those very, very soon. The very final thing I would love to talk about is, what do I expect for 2025? My goodness, so many things. I think out of the downfall, which was unfortunately getting attacked online from TikTok, that I hopefully, which now again I've got my TikTok handled a little bit more now, it's much more maintained and kept up with. I want to be able to go on a bit more spiritual in-depthness with myself. I would like to be immersed around myself with my surroundings. I think the top tier for me is that I want it to just be very, very keeping that positive mindset going for a lot of you. Bring some more content, of course, bring some podcasting into it as well, and give another hope that 2025 will be definitely a new perspective for me. Now I'm in my 30s, that I can now give the next stage of my life for all of you and give different perspectives. I really like to just continue this growth pattern that I'm on right now, and it can only get it better from onwards and upwards. That has been the end of year look back video of this year. I am so grateful and appreciative to each and every one of you who have supported me behind the scenes. The messages that I've got from all of you saying how you all love my videos. And I will take notice last year's look back video did really, really well. Always forever grateful for coming on here, talking each year in December and talk amongst stuff that happened that a lot of you don't realise or don't know upon. And it's so great to now know I am supported and loved by each and every one of you as viewers. And let me know in the comments below, what are some of your highlights or lowlights that have happened for you, and what videos that you enjoyed of the Granda YouTube channel throughout 2024. As well as maybe put some, what do you think would be some of your highlights for 2025 as well. I really want to hear. And please don't forget to like, comment, and share this video around with all of your iconic peeps. That is the end of the look back video. I am Granda. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the new year of 2025. Until next time, I will see you all very soon. Bye everyone!